This is lecture 6 of our series on Python lists. In this list, we are going to use the concept of looping through the list items. So in this first example, we are going to create a list of 3 items. Let's call this list as S. The 3 items are apples, mangoes, and bananas. So let's create a question: how do we count the number of characters in each item of the above list? So if you were to do this manually, so then we would use the len function, and then we will slice the first item from the S list. First item is located at index 0. So the first item has 6 characters. The second item has 8 characters, and the third item has 6 characters. Okay. Now, as a second question, create a list W that will hold the above information. So since this is a small list, we can create a W, and then we can type the list notation, that is brackets, and we shall type the same command len, and then slicing the first element out of this list. This will create our first item. Then we will create the second item, len, slicing the second item, and then create count for the third item. So that will be len and S2. So we have created list W, and that has now the count of characters for each element of list S. So the first item has 6 characters, the second 8, and the third one 6. Okay. We can also create the method of map. The map method or map function applies a function to each element of a list. Let me write the definition of map function. Map function is method is used to apply a function to each element of a list. So instead of applying the len function to each element of the list manually, actually we did that in line 13. We applied the len function to each element of list. We can use the map function. So let's create another variable z, and we shall use map. The function that we shall apply is len, and the list that we are applying it to is S. So map function takes 2 arguments. The first argument is the function that we shall apply to each element of the given list, and the second argument is the name of the list. So actually we created the list S here, and this is where we specify the name of the list in the map function. So it creates Z. Z is itself a list. So if we want to see the elements of Z, we will type list Z. So it actually provides the same information that we created ourselves here. So map function is a very useful function if you have a function that you want to apply to each element of a list, no matter how bigger the list is, you can apply it to. And since normally we write len and then we put the object inside the brackets, but here we just type the name of the function without using brackets, and as a second argument we provide the name of the list. Okay, and just to have some practice for, like, we use some we discussed the for loop and the while loop yesterday. Let me create another question for you, and I would like that you solve it yourself. If you were to create a similar list like this one, instead of like typing all these elements manually, can we use a loop and create this specific list? So instead of typing the first element like this, the second element, and the third element like this, why not just loop through the elements of list and create the W list inside the loop? So can we do that? So I'll type the question for you. Use a loop to count characters of each item of a list and create another list that will hold the count information. So I would like that you give it a try. We'll solve that in a while, but first you should try it yourself. So I'm waiting for you. Okay, let's solve it together. So as you remember, in the for loop, we first of all type for, and then we type the name of the variable that we will like to use in this specific loop. Let us call this variable I, for I, and then we type the name of the list. So list is S. So for I in S, and then we shall process the list. So I shall create a variable, let's say C is equal to len, and then the first item of the first item of the list will be, since we are using variable I, we will use len I. And then before entering the loop, I would like to create an empty list. So let's create an empty list of W. W is equal to this. And now let's you remember the method of append. So W dot append, and then we shall append the variable C that we found here. What we can do is also avoid creating C. We can directly write len I inside here. So that is also possible. So let's do that. Instead of creating a new variable, let's do it directly here, and I'll delete this line, and I think that should be done. And now if we check W, we have the element. So what we did, we created an empty list. W is equal to square bracket. So this list is currently empty. And then we are using a loop, a for loop. We are looping through each item of the list S. So the variable that I created is I. And then we will append to the W list. What we shall append? We shall use the function len. And since we are looping through each item, the first item will be banana. So the length of banana will be appended to the W list. The second item is mangoes. So in that case, I will be equal to mangoes. So we'll append the number of characters again to W, and so on and so forth. So if in each run, we'll be processing the individual item of list S, and hence once this loop ends, we shall have a complete list of character counts which we have stored in the variable W. To summarize today, we have used three methods to process elements of a list. The first method is doing all the calculations manually. So we slice each item from the list and then we process it. The second method is map function. We define a function or we use a built-in function, and then we the map function will apply the any function to the each element of a list. For example, in this case we used len function inside the map method, and the len function was applied to each element of the list. And the third method of using a loop. So we process each element inside a for loop. Of course, which method is preferred? The map method is built-in function, so that should be preferred over other methods. But in case map method cannot be used, in that case it's better to use a loop. So so that was concerning processing of each element of a loop. In the next session, we are going to start our new topic, that is pandas library. Okay, our new topic is pandas. So what is pandas? Pandas is a additional package of functions. It's normally we call it a library. So it's a library of functions that was written in Python programming language, and the main purpose of pandas is data manipulation and analysis. So it make it extremely convenient to manipulate data. List can be used for data manipulation, but it does not provide that much functionality. Instead, pandas provide lots of tools to manipulate data, to organize data, and to analyze data. So since this is not a built-in library, whenever we have to use, we have to import this specific library. And since we are using the Anacondas package already has the pandas library. This is why we don't have to install it. If you have installed just Python, then you first of all have to install pandas as well. But since we are using the Anaconda distribution, it already has a package of pandas, so we do not have to install it. But before usage, each time when we use pandas, we have to import it, and the command is import pandas. And it doesn't do much, but now the functions that we use will be available here in Python. So now, since pandas is an external library, each time when we use a function, we have to write pandas dot specific function. And writing pandas each time in front of as a prefix to each item, it is inconvenient for typing. So most people would import pandas as PD. So instead of using pandas as a full name, we will use PD as an abbreviation for pandas. So if now I have to use a function, I'll type PD dot the name of the function, and the prefix PD here will denote that this function is imported from the pandas library. So Python will look in that library and will import the in the function from there. So remember, to summarize, when we use a pandas function, we have to first of all import it. We can import the full name or we can import the abbreviated name. So the convention is that people import pandas as PD, and also remember that whenever you are using a function of pandas, you have to write the abbreviation, that is PD dot then the name of the function. So I execute this line. Okay, now the first thing that we shall create in pandas library is the series. So just like we have lists in Python, we have series in pandas. So how do we create a series? Series is a sequence of items that are separated by comma, and we create the series as pd.series. So, and then we supply the Python list inside the parentheses. So let's create series 1, call it S1, and then type PD, since we are using a function series, and that function is borrowed from the pandas library. Therefore, we have to type pd.series and then parentheses. Now, what we need to provide inside the parentheses, we have to provide a Python list. And as you remember, Python list is created using square brackets. So if I now type the elements of the series, so we have 1, 2, 3, and we have created a panda series. And you can now print the elements of the series. It looks like this. So as you might have noticed that the panda series is printed in a specific way. In the first column we have the index of each item. So the first element 1 is located at index 0, and then the second element, it is located at index 1. The third element is located at index 2, and the data type of this specific series is integer 4, 64. So that is the all the values are integers, and they have 64 character bytes. Let's create another series, and let's call it S2 equal to. How do we create a series? First of all, we have to specify PD, because the function that we are using is from the pandas library. And what is the function name? It is series. Remember, the function series has the S has to be capitalized, and then the parentheses. Remember, we use parentheses with methods or functions, and then we provide Python list. Let's provide the list of 100, 200, and 300. So we have another series. And how do we print out the contents of the series? So let's call it, let's print it out. We have now another series. Two series can be added together. So S1 plus S2, and now we have the summation The output of the above is 101, 202, 303, because in the first series we had 1 2 3, in the second series we have 100, 200, 300. Similarly, two series can be subtracted from one another. So let's call S2 minus S1. So now we have the results here. Also, we can create another series from the subtraction. So let's say call it S3 is equal to, and since we are assigning the results to series 3, we should not get any output on the screen for S3. And now if we want to see the type of S3, it says panda_score series. So S3 is a series and it is related to the pandas library. So please create some series and have some basic mathematic operations. We shall continue after that. Okay, now let's try to compare a series to a single number and series to another series, and that becomes a very powerful tool in data management and data filtering. So how do we compare a series? So let's create a series S again, and you remember how to create it. So we type PD and then series, then small brackets and parentheses. So let's create 1, 10, 20, 35, 400, 6, and 15. So we created some random numbers. And now let's see which of these numbers are greater than 10. So we can type the name of the series and then we can type the notation greater than 10. It creates another series, and it will have true and false statements with each of the series items. So where the condition fails, we shall get false. So the first one, we asked whether the series item is greater than 10 or not. So the first item of the series is not greater. This is why we get false. 10 is also not greater than 10. It is equal to 10 but not greater than 10. This is why we get false. 20 is greater, so it's true. 35 is greater, it's true. 400 is greater, it's true. And then 6 is not greater, so we get again false. And 15 is greater, so we get true. So a series where we have 0 and 1s or false and true, it is called Boolean. This series is bool. Bool means the series has just 0 and 1s. Let's store this series in some variable. So let's call it bool. We stored the series in the another series that is bool, and again we can show the contents of bool series like here. Okay, so this is one method of comparing series with a specific constant value, and as a result we get another series which is Boolean in nature. Remember, Boolean series has just 0 and 1s. Let me add one more topic, subtopic here. How useful the Boolean series can be. So 6.8. What is a Boolean series? Okay, Boolean series. So Boolean series has either 0 and 1s or it has true and false. And why specifically this series is so important? Because it helps us in filtering data. So how we can filter data with Boolean series? So this is our new topic. How can we filter data with a Boolean series? We can filter data with Boolean series just like slice notation. So our main series was S, and then we slice data out of it using the Boolean series. So we have the variable bool, and it will give us the value where there is true. So in this case, the true is for index 2, index 3, and index 4, and then we have true for index 6. So if we look at the S series, we have on the index 2 we have 20, then 30, then 400, and last we have 15. So we can get all these values with by slicing from the S series using the Boolean series. So whenever the value was true, we have sliced the items from the series. In other words, if we go to our first statement, we created Boolean series like this that indicate or tag all those values where the series values are greater than 10. So actually we created the condition here, and now using this condition we can get data out of this whole series. So all those values which are greater than 10 can be obtained from the above series. So remember, when we want to filter data or extract data or slice data from a series, it happens in 2 steps. So the first step is to create a Boolean series, and the second step is to slice from that series. So let me summarize it here as a next heading. How do we filter data from a series? So it happens in 2 steps. Step number 1, create a Boolean series. Step number 2, slice from the main series using the Boolean. So this is how we filter data from a Boolean series. Okay, sometimes we get data which is supposed to be numerical, but we unfortunately get it is in non-numerical format. So how do we convert such data to numeric format? In the pandas library, we have a function that is to numeric. So let's create a list, and then we with some non-numeric data, and then we shall convert it to numeric. Convert non-numeric data to numeric. So let's create a series, call it n, and how do we create pd dot series brackets, and then we provide Python list. So let's 1, 2, and let's say 4 is non-numeric. Then we have, let's say, apples, and then 0.5. So it's a mixed data. Some of the items are already numeric, some of them were supposed to be numeric. For example, 4 were supposed to be numeric, but it is not numeric. So how do we convert such data to numeric? And if I type n, what we shall see? Currently, this is the type of this specific series is object. Whenever you see this, it means that this series is a non-numeric series by nature, and the mathematical operations that we can perform on a series cannot be applied to this series. The reason is its type is object. Object means that this series is non-numeric in nature. So any mathematical function that we have in the pandas library, they cannot be applied to this series. So we have to convert this series to numeric. So let's create another series, n2, and since this is the series name is n, then we type the function to numeric. And we get an error. Let me see, we need to provide numeric inside the brackets. Okay, and numeric is from the pandas library. Let me see, still we are getting an error. So please इस पे practice कीजिएगा, and if you have question please do ask.
सर इसमें ये जो आपने एप्पल्स लिखा है, क्या ये एरर की तो रीजन नहीं आ रही, इसकी वजह से हमें कोरस डालना पड़ रहा है?
जी जी बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है, ऐसा ही है कि चूँकि ये कम्प्लीटली नॉन न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू है इसलिए एरर आ रहा था, और एरर्स के साथ हमने कोर्स लिखा है.
तो सर हम ये हम किन किन जगहों पे वैसे ये चीज अप्लाई कर सकते हैं एरर्स के लिए, हटाने के लिए?
तो
और जगह आ सकती है?
तो अगर आपका डेटा कम्प्लीटली न्यूमेरिक है लेकिन बाय सम मिस्टेक वो एज ए ऑब्जेक्ट शो हो रहा है तो विदाउट एरर वो हो जाएगा. लेकिन अगर आपका डेटा बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट न्यूमेरिक है ही नहीं, जिस तरह एप्पल्स न्यूमेरिक नहीं है, तो हम क्या करते हैं कि हम क्वेर्स लिखते हैं, और क्वेर्स में ये होगा कि जो कन्वर्ट नहीं हो सकते वो मिसिंग में आ जाएंगे या एन हो जाएंगे वो. जी आसिफ, एन का मतलब है नॉट ए नंबर, सो एप्पल इज़ नॉट ए नंबर, दिस इज़ वाई यू गेट द एरर एन। तो चूंकि हम टेक्स्ट न्यूमेरिक में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं, एप्पल्स का न्यूमेरिक कोई नहीं है, दिस इज़ वाई वी गेट द स्पेसिफिक एरर। और नॉट ए नंबर, फिर पांडास एज ए मिसिंग वैल्यू कंसिडर करता है। तो इस पे अगर हम कोई मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन करेंगे, इट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज ए मिसिंग वैल्यू, मीन्स कि यहाँ पे कोई वैल्यू है ही नहीं।